दोस्तों SBS हिंदी पर आज आपकी मुलाकात करवाने जा रही हूँ एक बेहद ही प्रेरणात्मक व्यक्तित्व से। हमारे समाज में या फिर ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी जब घरेलू हिंसा की बात आती है तो ये बहुत ही गंभीर विषय हो जाता है। लोग घरेलू हिंसा से पीड़ित व्यक्ति के प्रति संवेदना तो रखते ही हैं, लेकिन जब वो व्यक्ति बड़ा ही प्रेरणात्मक बन के वापस आता है तो उसकी सराहना भी करते हैं। और ऐसा ही एक व्यक्तित्व आज हमारे साथ है, शैजी सिंह। शैजी, SBS हिंदी पर आपका स्वागत है।
थैंक यू।
शैजी एक घरेलू हिंसा की पीड़ित व्यक्तियों में से एक है, लेकिन अब वो बहुत ही सक्सेसफुल तरीके से अपना एंटरप्राइज चलाती हैं, एंटरप्रेन्योर हैं और लोगों की मदद करती हैं, समुदाय की मदद करती हैं। तो चलिए जानते हैं शैजी से उनके जीवन की इस यात्रा के बारे में। शैजी, बहुत कम लोग होते हैं जो अपनी निजी ज़िंदगी के बारे में आमतौर पर लोगों से बात करते हैं, खास करके जब घरेलू हिंसा की बात आती है। आपने अपनी ज़िंदगी की पोस्ट सोशल मीडिया पर शेयर की ताकि अन्य लोगों को भी प्रेरणा मिल सके। क्या आपके माइंड में था कि आपने ये कदम उठाया?
मेन थिंग मैंने इसीलिए शेयर करा था पोस्ट बिकॉज सबके दिमाग में अपना ही कुछ चल रहा था कि उसकी मेरी ज़िंदगी बहुत अच्छी चल रही है एंड आई एम लिविंग अ रियली नाइस लाइफ एंड आई एम हैविंग फन इन माई मैरिड लाइफ, बट ऐसा नहीं था एंड इट वाज वेरी डिफरेंट. रियलिटी वाज वेरी डिफरेंट देन what everyone else was thinking. So I had to share it because it was very hard. जब सभी मेरे से क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे थे, how's your married life, how do you like being married, और मैं कुछ जवाब ही नहीं दे पा रही थी उन्हें. So I had to come out honest and clean to all my friends and family and just let them know what I was going through. And I didn't realize it will inspire a lot of people. I was just sharing my heart.
तो आपसे विनती करूंगी कि क्या वही चीज़, वही पूरी जो कथा वस्तु है हमारे श्रोताओं के साथ भी शेयर करेंगी?
वो काफ़ी टफ टाइम था मेरी लाइफ का. I was 26 when I got married to what I thought was a really amazing, sensitive, really intelligent man. Financial advisor था San Francisco में, और मैं भी यहाँ पर अपना शू बिजनेस चलाती थी पहले. And we were both very educated. And when I moved to America, I didn't realize he would change completely as a different person. And he would start hitting me. But before he started hitting me, he used to just be very rude. बहुत गंदे तरीके से बात करता था and saying really berating words that would hurt you a lot. Things like, you have 0% brain, you're not intelligent, you don't know how to do anything in life. Things like, I know, that I'm cheating, go back to Australia, all those things were hurting. But what woke me up most in that incident was when he actually physically started hitting me. And that's the moment I was thinking, jab pehli baar hua tha, I was like, I used to fight with my brother when we were 14, 13-year-olds. Is that the same thing? Because me and my brother, we used to, punch each other, push each other. And now I'm 27 and I'm going through the same thing. Is that the same thing? Like, mere bhai ke saath jaisa main ladti thi, was that okay? And now I'm fighting with my husband. Why is this doesn't feel okay to me? So I used to call a lot of my friends and ask कि कैसे मैं handle करूँ इसका गुस्सा, अपने husband का गुस्सा. उसको बहुत गुस्सा आता है. He always gets so angry and he starts screaming and throwing things around. और मुझे बहुत डर लगता है. कैसे handle करूँ? And सबने मुझे suggest करा. नानी माँ ने I remember उनकी बातें कि अगर कोई गुस्सा में होता है, चुप रहा करो. ज़्यादा उन्हें बढ़ावा मत दिया करो. Don't give fuel to the fire. So just stay silent, stay quiet, let them react, and that's what I would do. Unfortunately, that very thing backfired every single time. Because I would not protest and I would stay quiet, he would get more and more angry. And he would start hitting me because he really wanted to get a reaction out of me. Like, he would pull my hair so badly and punch me that my contact lenses would come out. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't see right now and my eyesight's really weak. So I need to, he won't let me put them back on. It was a bad time. But me being quiet was one thing that would upset him a lot. That I loved meditating, and that would upset him a lot. That I can't get a reaction out of her. So yeah, it's a tough time.
आपने आपसे जब बात हो रही थी या आपकी पोस्ट में भी आपने कहा है कि इस परिस्थिति के दौरान आपकी माता जी भी आपके साथ थोड़ा समय गुजारने के लिए आई थी. क्या वो वक्त ऐसा था कि हालात कुछ सुधरे हों या फिर उन्होंने आप दोनों के बीच सुलह करवाने की कोशिश करी हो?
Yes, she did try to patch things up, and uske dad as well, his dad, his brother, they all tried to make him understand that, hitting your wife is not something that you should be doing. That's a wrong thing to do. But it didn't work because mom tried. She stayed for 15 days. वो मुझे वापस भी लेकर जाना चाहती थी Australia. I packed my suitcases, I don't know, again for the third time to go back and move out of his house and go back to Australia. But when you're in an abusive relationship, it is very tough because they say they love you and they're like, it will never happen again. Come back and I will not do this again. And as a woman who has been beaten up so many times by that same person, your self-confidence, your self-worth, the way you value yourself goes completely down. And you believe them. You believe whatever they say. So if they're saying they love you and they want to come, they will not hear you again, you keep believing that constantly. So that's what I did. When my mom tried to take me back and he said, I love you, I would never do this again. And he promised my mom, he promised me, he promised his dad. But it happened again. And it happened again and again. So
कैसा महसूस होता है जब किसी व्यक्ति पर आपने भरोसा किया जो बड़ा ही प्यार करता था, बहुत ही केयरिंग था, अचानक से एकदम अब्यूजिव हो जाता है, मारपीट करने लगता है?
It feels like, I don't know, like you can't trust anyone. And that's a tough thing because you also stop trusting yourself for the choices you make in life. Joe, you really thought that you made the right decision marrying this person, but then you start really doubting yourself, and especially when your ex-husband, Joe, itna gusse wala hai, or he also starts saying bad things like, you're not intelligent, you're not worth anything, and things like that, and start swearing at you all the time. So you start believing all those things.
क्या हुआ जब आपने निश्चय कर लिया कि बस अब बहुत हो चुका, अब मुझे इस रिलेशनशिप से बाहर निकलना है, अब मुझे एक नई शुरुआत करने की ज़रूरत है? क्या घड़ी आ गई, क्या क्षण आ गई कि आपने उस घर को छोड़ा और उसके बाद क्या हुआ?
I am the sort of person who मैं किसी को भी 3 से ज़्यादा चांस नहीं देती ज़िंदगी में, चाहे मेरे फ्रेंड्स हो या फैमिली हो. अगर किसी ने मेरा ट्रस्ट 3 बार अगर तोड़ा है, उसके अलावा I don't give them any chances. It's just the personal principles I live by. Because I married him and I was in love with him, the 4th time when he hit me, because 3rd time, of course, I forgive him again. I kept forgiving him. 4th time when he hit me, first thing in the morning when we woke up at 5:30, and he stepped on my chest, being really angry because I had a little pimple on my lips. I don't know, women's cycles, hormones change, and I got a little pimple, and he thought that I was kissing someone. I'm not happy that he's going to stay at home, and he got really angry because मैं कुछ बोल नहीं रही थी, and my reactions on my face gave away a lot more because I rolled my eyes when he said he's going to stay home, because सारा दिन जो मेरे से लड़ता रहता है, and he's like, अब मैं घर पे रहूँगा सारा दिन, and I was just like, oh great, he's going to be home all day. And he got really angry and mad at me, and he stepped on my chest and started saying things like, go back to Australia, and swearing, you're bad words, you're a slut, you're a bitch, go back to Australia. And it was really tough when he stepped on my chest because I couldn't breathe for a little bit, and somehow I pushed him away, or I wanted to push him away, and he got up and he left, and I ran to the other room with my phone. दूसरे bedroom में मैंने अपने आप को lock कर लिया, and I wouldn't open the door. And he kept knocking on the door saying, I love you, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. The same cycle keeps repeating. And I believed him. I was like, I had my phone in my hands और मैं पुलिस को phone करने वाली थी. I wanted to dial 911. I had it dialed in, but I haven't pressed the call button. And he kept knocking on the door saying, open up, I love you, you know, it won't happen again, open up. And I did. And the things he said, it's because of you that I'm that angry. It's because you do these things, you make me angry. And I was like, this is not going to change. Again, this person is not taking responsibility of what he's done or what he's doing, and he's blaming it all on me, that it's all my fault for his anger. It's all my fault that he's hitting me. And at the moment, I pushed him out, closed the door again, and he again kept knocking on the door, and I was so scared because उससे पहले जो सामने वाला बेडरूम था उसका ये दरवाज़ा पूरा hinges से तोड़ चुका था कुछ हफ्ते पहले मम्मा जब आई थी. So he actually broke the whole door out of the hinges. So I was scared कि ये भी दरवाज़ा तोड़ देगा and he'll beat me up so badly. और सुबह 5:30 बजे and कुछ भी कर सकता है because I've seen him the way in the kitchen he used to cook food and cut chicken, being really happy with this big knife, and I was like, oh my gosh, वो मेरे को आकर he's gonna hit me again. I'll be lying in a garbage bag on the side of the street, नई कंट्री के अंदर, और मुझे कोई नहीं जानता यहाँ पर, किसी को पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि मैं कौन हूँ because ये मेरे IDs ले लेता है, फ़ोन ले लेता है मेरे से, मेरे को कुछ भी नहीं देता. So I have no access to anything, and I'll be lying on the highway in a new country somewhere, no one would know who I am. And that really scared me. And so I just called 911, and I thought police आएगी, इसे थोड़ा scared कर देगी, he'll maybe understand and realize. But yeah, so I didn't think that police will come and take him away and give me a restraining order, and that's why I called the police, because I was scared for my life. Yeah.
You also mentioned कि कोर्ट की जो प्रोसीजर थी, जो उनसे तलाक लेने की, उनसे अलग होने की, वो भी काफ़ी पीड़ादायक रही. जब आप कोर्ट में गई तो लोग क्या कहेंगे, ये वाली फीलिंग थी, या फिर आपने अपने लिए अपना पक्ष रखने के लिए इस लड़ाई को लड़ा?
To be honest, the most hardest bit wasn't the 3.5 months that I was married to this man. The hardest bit was 1.5 years of going to courts, getting a criminal protective order, getting a restraining order, going to district attorney's office, going to the police station, you know, meeting the lawyers every single day, and coming back home and literally crying for 5-6 hours every night, because I'm not sure how I'm going to manage myself or what I'm going to do in my life, because I felt I was really lost. And I feel a lot of people go through something like this in their life, where they feel very lost, and especially when you're going through a lot of court proceedings, because सब अलग-अलग चीज़ तुम्हें बोल रहे होते हैं. Police says you can't go back to this guy, you know, you got to file for divorce, there's a restraining order. Lawyers like, okay, maybe, you know, because they want money, so they really want you guys to be separated and not patch things up. And my heart, I was like, no, I really want to patch things up. But at the same time, your family's like, do you want to live your life like this? You know, and the district attorney's telling you all the statistics of what women are going through with domestic violence. And you go to court and you sit, like you see this man that you married right there, and you think to yourself, like, am I going to be able to live my life like this? And am I going to be able to grow my kids in an environment like this? I think the only thoughts that helped me and gave me courage to make me stick out of this situation was, do I want my kids or my son to grow up to become a man like him? Because kids always follow what their parents are like. And that was true in his family too. So his dad was abusive, his chacha was abusive, his masis also, you know, had a lot of, and bua as well, had some issues with their partners. So he kind of grew up seeing all that. He grew up looking at his mum being hit by the dad. So he thought this is okay to do that. But yeah, so I stuck it out. The court procedures was very tough. And the minute I got my divorce, I came back to Australia. Dad आए मुझे न्यूयॉर्क में लेने के लिए because after that San Francisco में मेरी शादी हुई थी. I moved from San Francisco to New York to start a new life. जब मुझे restraining order and criminal protective order मिल गया, I just was waiting for the divorce papers to finalize. And once that was done, Dad आए मुझे लेने के लिए and he's like, I'm not leaving you here anymore. आप हमारे साथ घर वापस आओ. So
आपके चेहरे पर बड़ी ही एक अच्छी सी मुस्कान रहती है हमेशा. तो अब ये बताइए कि इस मुस्कान को लाने के पीछे जो आपको मेहनत करनी पड़ी, उसकी बात बाद में करते वो सारी चीज़ें हैं. लेकिन आप ये बताइए कि आज आप बहुत ही सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर हैं. आपने अपनी ज़िंदगी को एक नई शुरुआत दी है. उसके बारे में बताइए, क्या क्या करती हैं आप? शौक़ के लिए लिखती भी हैं और जूते भी डिज़ाइन करती हैं. इसके बारे में श्रोताओं को थोड़ी सी बात बताइए.
Yeah, absolutely. Shoe designs, I started when I was 23, quite young, and I left that because I got married, and I wanted to start it in the US, but mauka nahi mila. I couldn't get a chance to do it because of all the stuff that I was going through. And since I came back, I'm actually working on another project. I don't feel like doing the shoe thing anymore, because I'm working on that, seeing myself not as a failure, seeing myself as someone that I'm growing as a person. So I'm working on a foundation that I started called Empowerment Foundation, where I can help other people, men and women, going through similar things. And also Life Empowerment Group, which I do a lot of meditation, Reiki, and bringing massage and nutrition to corporates, governments, and schools, and helping. It's like my way of helping the community to become a very healthier, happier place and a society to live in. So that's what I'm currently working on. And I write poetry too, yes.
क्या हमारे श्रोताओं को कुछ सुना सकती हैं?
Yes, absolutely, I can. There's one that I wrote. It came to me when the first time I presented it to a room full of Sri Lankan, Tamil, South Indian women who were very intelligent in their community, on the topic of resilience, relating it to domestic violence. It just came to me. It's like, the more you're allowed to be yourself, you're unconsciously allowing everyone else to speak their truth and shine their light.
बड़ी खूब, बहुत ही खूब. और जाते जाते आपसे पूछना चाहूँगी कि क्या संदेश देना चाहेंगी उस महिलाओं को जो इस परिस्थिति से कहीं ना कहीं जूझ रही हैं और इससे बाहर आना चाहती हैं?
The main thing I would tell anyone who is going through something like this in life is leave, don't stay. If you're going through abuse or domestic violence, or if your husband's really angry, or if he's constantly putting you down, or if your wife or your husband is constantly swearing at you, doesn't respect you, just leave. Don't try to change someone, because people don't change. And don't try to pretend that you can make a difference by changing them. And log itni aasani se nahi badalte hain. But the only person you can change is yourself and khud ko. So respect yourself, trust yourself, and work on yourself. That's all I would say. Work on yourself. Yeah.
जी हाँ, तो खुद की पहचान को बनाए रखिए, खुद की बेहतरी के लिए काम करिए. शायज़ी, आपने वक्त निकाला, आप SBS हिंदी के लिए यहाँ पर आई. आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
Thank you so much.